There always has been evil in our world. But have you noticed in the past couple, 3, 4 years, it's accelerated at a breakneck speed. It now pervades every walk of life. The corporations, the cities, the politics, your personal life. This is because Protagoras' dictum, man is the measure of all things, is now the official religion. It's not hard to figure out why. Modern culture is made mostly up of reflections of our own degenerate selves now. We're making the rules, in other words. It's a wilderness of mirrors, in T.S. Eliot's words. The corporately controlled media sift through a ton of sludge, looking for just a speck of truth. Like miners panning for gold in the wrong place. The religion of man is known as humanism or illuminism. Plato tried to correct Protagoras. God and not man is the measure of all things, he said. Our leaders don't listen to Plato. God is now banned from public life. When was the last time a divine standard was applied to anything? Wouldn't that be like a breath of fresh air? No, we are caught up in a black magic spell. And a black magic spell is not just what you envision that's shown to your children in a cartoon of people's eyes going weird and their heads spinning a little bit and some pentagram stars floating around their head. No. All a black magic spell is to convince someone that something is happening that is not. In the simplest form, it's a magician doing a trick. The head of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, once said, the individual is handicapped by coming face to face with a conspiracy so monstrous he cannot believe it exists. The Illuminati, a secret Luciferian society, and the highest echelon of Freemasonry now control the world. And they're closing in on the citizen of the world to convince them in their own way that a one-world government is in order. That's their logo on the US dollar, along with the words, "We did it," in Latin. Lucifer represents man's rebellion against natural and moral laws. God's design. The Luciferians are very rich. No, the Luciferians are very wealthy. You see, there is a difference between rich and wealthy. The rich know how much money they have. The wealthy don't have any idea. And they need to shortcut God's plan in order to impose their own New World Order. Humanism, taken from Charles Darwin, he is elevated to the height of a god in their eyes because he represents animal instincts, the fittest survive, the law of the jungle, rather than moral ones. We're our brother's keeper. Because, you see, humanism is designed to reduce us to cattle and be servants of the rich. The Illuminati created Nazism, communism, and this thing they loosely call democracy, which is just an exercise of a real democracy. It's not real. They tell you it is, but the people on the ballot belong to them. You pick which ones you want. And a lot of times they pick the one they want anyway, whatever you pick. The Illuminati has also created every war, including this global war on terror, the Long War, as it's now called. Abu Ghraib, Guantanamo Bay, come directly from the Nazi concentration camp idea and the Soviet gulags. And the Illuminati is actually signaling this by publicizing the torture and degradation in these places. Wittingly or unwittingly, our leaders have sworn allegiance to the Illuminati devils. That's the price of success today. That's success? Gives you an idea of what kind of hearts are in the chests of the men that supposedly lead us today. This day that's supposed to have changed everyone's view on the earth, September 11th, took place exactly 10 years after George Herbert Walker Bush proclaimed the New World Order to Congress on precisely September 11th, 1991. Coincidence? The Illuminati have declared war on God. We are the cannon fodder, the human sacrifice. Will you stand for it? The High Witches' holiday of Ostara. Oh, to you, that's the spring equinox. It's coming. March 20th. It's the celebration of the Germanic goddess Ostara, or Ostra, goddess of the dawn. They named Easter after her. She is the big god of this holiday. You know why? She heralds the return of the sun for these sun worshippers. She announces the triumphal return of life to the earth. Witches in the Greek tradition celebrate the return from Hades of Demeter's daughter Persephone. Witches in the Celtic traditions see in the blossoms the passing of Olwen, in whose footprints flowers bloom. And that egg laid by the regenerating snake or the heavenly bird is a powerful symbol of the emergence of life out of apparent death or absence of life. Yeah, the spring equinox is coming next month. We're only a few weeks away. Big things happen on the equinox. The Gulf War. Gulf War II was launched March 20th in 2003. They waited until the day of, if you'll recall, in 2003, George W. gave Saddam Hussein and his two sons 48 hours in which to pack up and leave Baghdad. They were coming in. That was on the 17th of March. 18, 19, 48 hours and a couple of minutes later, the bombs started falling on Baghdad. This coming March 20th to 26th, those 6 days, will be the beginning of the most significant political crisis the world has seen since the fall of the Iron Curtain in 89, together with the beginnings of an economic and financial crisis of a size that's going to be comparable to 1929's crash. The last week of March, next month, is going to be a turning point of a number of critical developments. It's going to start an acceleration of all the factors leading to a major crisis. We have just a short amount of time. One more month, maybe, of this new normal before we tumble into the next black magic spell cast on the world. That's what I want to talk about tonight. These events and the events leading up to them that have already begun. First one being, now you would think after 9/11, a president of a country, if it were really true that it was an outside influence that came in and attacked them, that they would make sure that they would shore up their air, their ports, so that no enemy could possibly penetrate their borders unknowingly. So what turns up this past week? An Arab company is going to take over the ports in the United States. And George W. is walking around going, hey, what's everybody so excited about? It's been checked out if there was going to be any problem. Well, but doesn't that fly in the face of his very official story of what happened at 9/11? I mean, the decision is logical from where I'm sitting. You take action immediately after 9/11, and you slam all the doors to get into the country. Didn't happen, didn't do it. Not only that, but they say there will be another attack. We can't possibly prevent it. And now this. And George W. keeps reminding people, and his security people keep reminding people, that the weakest spots are your ports in the United States. Alert after alert after alert's been issued. And each one of these fake alerts carried the same message. America is no better prepared for